Welcome to tutsowl.com in our fourth episode. In the previous episode, I talked about modules in Node.js. We created a new module and learned different ways of exporting functions and variables. In this episode, you will learn how to find, install, and use third-party packages, as well as how to create and publish your own. First, you may be wondering what are packages and how are they different from modules. These concepts are related, but they aren't the same thing. In Node.js, modules get distributed in form of packages. That means that if you wrote some module and want to publish it so that other users can reuse it, the best way to do it is to create a package. This also works the other way. If you want to reuse someone else's code, you simply install a package published by them. To install a package, you need a package manager. In Node.js, the most popular package manager is Npm, and it gets installed automatically with Node.js. Npm stands for Node Package Manager. Every package is described by package.json file, which contains some basic information about that. Let's take a look at sample package.json file. Here we see that it specifies name of the package. In this case, it's my app. It specifies the version 1.0.0 and dependencies, what our package depends on. Here, what's interesting are versions of the dependencies. We can specify them in many different ways. For example, if we specify X at the end, it means that we need any version which is basically higher than 0.3.0, higher or equals, but lower than 0.4.0. If we specify asterisk, it means that we want the newest version. The request version will be equal or higher 0.2.0. For cookie parser, we specify caret in the front of our version number, which means that the major version may differ. So the version which will get installed is even 1.2.0 or higher, but lower than 2.0.0. And in case of body parser, we specify tilde in front of the version, which means that the minor version may differ, which is the last digit here. And in this case, we will install a version which is equal or higher 2.1.2 and lower than 2.2.0. In order to create our own package, let's first create our package.json file. There is an npm tool which helps us doing that. The command is called npm init. Once we call it, it will display a set of questions which will lead us through a process of creating package.json file. At the beginning, we need to specify name of our package. Let's call it my new package. The next one will be version. In our case, it will be 1.0.0. Description. You can basically write here anything you want, but description should at least briefly suggest what the package is doing. Entry point, I will specify index.js, which actually is the default, but to be more precise, we will write it anyway. Test command, we can omit it. It's basically the script which will be called when we are testing our package. Git repository, I will also leave it empty, as we don't have the code published yet. The keywords, let's add npm, and the author tutsowl.com. License, we can also specify the license on which our package will be released. In this case, I'll just write MIT. Doesn't really matter in this case. Now we can see that the package.json was created. Let me copy it to the code folder. And here is how our package.json looks like. So all information which we inputted in a command line are saved in JSON format. As you see, properties which we omitted are not displayed here, at least not all of them. For example, the Git repository cannot be found here. And similarly, there's also a bunch of different fields which you can fill if you want to. For example, you can write private and specify true. This means that we won't be able to publish our package to the npm repository by accident. So this is useful field to add if we want to develop our package for internal use only and want to be sure that we don't accidentally publish it and make it available for others. The next step to create our package will be creating an entry point script. We specify that the script will be called index.js. So let's create it. And I will just display some information on the screen. Hello from my module. Once we save that, we can go to the Node console, and if we require the module, let me go to the code folder. Now we can require the module, and the text is being displayed. Let's say we want to use some third-party module, for example, to color our outputted text. To do that, we should go to the npm repository, which can be found in npmjs.org, and here we can find almost 100,000 different packages. On the main website, there is a bunch of statistics. We can find number of downloads in today and last month. We can see modules which other modules depend on most frequently. We can find modules with the biggest number of stars, which basically means that people like them the most. And there is also a text box for searching. So since we want to find some module for coloring, let's write colors. And we see a bunch of results. How do we determine which module to use? Apart from obvious things like looking at the title and the description here, we can look on the right side. There are two numbers. The first number is number of downloads, and the second one is number of stars, so how many times, how many people start that module. And we see that the first result has a pretty decent number of downloads, 81,000 and 104 stars. So this one looks promising. This is the package which we'll be going to use, but let's look at the other information which you may want to look at when you will be looking for different modules. First thing, as I said, is a number of downloads and stars. Another one will be version, and next to version there is interesting thing, because you can see when our module was updated last time. This is important for us because we want to make sure that the module is still maintained and that if there are any bugs discovered, they will be fixed. Another thing to determine whether the module is good for us, we'll be looking at the description and the README part of the module. the more detailed it is, the better. Firstly, because you will need this information in case you want to debug some problems or you want to figure out what else you can do with the module. And secondly, that basically means that the author cares about users which use his or her module. At the top of this page, you can also find a row, repository row, and if you go there, we can see the GitHub page for this package. Here again, we can find a number of stars and a number of forks, so how many users start this product, how many users forked it. There is also a number of commits. It might also be interesting to see that it's decently developed, number of contributors, and when was the last commit. That's similarly to the date when the package was recently updated. Important for us to make sure that the module is that the package is still in development. Another place which I like to check when evaluating the module is the issues page, and here we can see number of open and closed issues, and I like the number of closed issues to be much higher than number of open ones, which means that any feedback authors get, they take it seriously and they try to fix those problems. And the last thing, you can of course go through the code, check the quality of the code, whether it contains comments, whether it's easy to understand. That may be important in case you decide to contribute to the code, or you just need to quickly make some changes on your own. You can also do a search for modules using command npm search. And if you, for example, want to find some packages which will help in debugging, you can write npm search debug. Obviously, I have to exit from Node, and it takes a while, but once it's done, it will display you a list of packages with, oh, here it is, with which have debug in their name or description, and you can go through this list and maybe find something interesting. But this is, I don't recommend this way of finding modules. Definitely npm.js.org has much more friendly interface and provides many more information which you may find useful. Alright, so since we found our package which we want to use, colors, let's install it. As you see, I specified argument --save here. What it does is, apart from downloading and installing the package, it will also add the package together with version to our package.json file. So if we go and see the package.json, we can see that in dependencies there is now colors, which was added automatically because we used the --save argument. Since we installed colors package, now we can start and use it. First, let's just require it. And now we can color our text. For example, let's make the hello world yellow, and the rest from my module will be green. Again, in Node console, we can require the index.js, and this time our text is outputted and colored. This is how you can create your own packages and use third-party packages. Now I would like to show you how to publish this package to the npm repository. The first thing you will need to do is to add the user in the repository. You do it through command npm add the user. Here it asks you for a username. You can write something, some password, and the email. I will just stop this operation since I already have my own user. Now, since we are in a directory where the package.json is located, we can simply call npm publish. And this thing will fail because, as you see here, and as you may remember, we marked our package as private. So this is how it works, that in this case, if we publish it, it won't allow us because it's marked as private. So to fix it, we simply remove this line, save it, and run npm publish again. This time it published our package, and we can find it in npm repository. If we go to a new folder and call npm install my new package, we can see that the package will be downloaded and installed. Let's come back to our code folder. I'd like to show you a couple other ways in which we can use the npm tool. So we've seen the npm install command and npm install with --safe switch. We can also call npm update and write a package name so that we will update the package. Since we just downloaded it, there's no new version and it won't update anything. Similarly, to check whether there are any packages which may require an update, we can call npm outdated. And if there are any, it will list all packages which have new versions available. If you want to see all dependencies your package depends on, you simply call npm list. And we can see that our only dependency is colors. You can also see all installed packages which are installed globally if you specify -g switch. And here we see all packages which are installed in our environment. Let's say you want to figure out what's the installed version of some particular package, and we can do it using the same command, npm list package name -g. Another interesting command is npm shrink wrap. If you call this, it will create npm-shrinkwrap.json file. In the version, we can see that all versions are defined specifically with the values of versions which we are currently using in our environment. So in this case, if we give this package to someone and they will run npm install and install all dependencies, they will get exactly the same versions which we have on our machine. So that's very helpful because sometimes if we specify that we want the newest version, even though we depend on those packages, the newest when we were developing our package was different than the newest now, and there might be some breaking changes in between. So the same package.json and the same dependencies may actually not work. We can see that our previous package.json didn't have the 1.0.2 version specified directly, but there was a caret in front of that, which, as you remember, means that the major version may differ. This is the end of today's episode. I explained what are Node.js packages, how to find quality third-party packages using npm repository, how to install and use them. We also created our own and published the package to npm.js.org repository. Finally, we discovered few useful npm commands which will help you manage your dependencies. If you enjoyed this screencast, make sure you don't miss the next episode. Subscribe to the email newsletter, like tutsowl on Facebook, follow on Twitter, and share with friends. Thank you for watching.